Hello, my name is Ryan, and I'm going to give you an overview of reviewing returns in Lacerte. We'll cover the layout of the Forms tab, worksheet links, jump to input, audit checks, diagnostics, and printing returns. To examine your return, either click on the Forms tab or hit Alt-F on your keyboard. Once on the Forms tab, you'll automatically be taken to the main form of the return type you're working on, in this case, Form 1040. The default form that you're taken to when you move to your Forms tab can be adjusted in the options. Many preparers prefer to see the tax summary when they go to their Forms tab, so this is customizable for you. You'll see a list of the returns in this client file in the State list box in the upper left-hand part of the screen. Clicking on the various states will allow you to view those returns. Below that, there's a list of forms that are generating based upon the information entered in the input screens on the Detail tab. You can check the Show All box to display all forms whether or not they're currently generating with the return. Click on any form to view it. You can also switch between forms by clicking on the various lower tabs, each representing a different currently generating form. For forms that have multiple versions generating or have titles specific to your client, a description list box will be displayed allowing you to switch between versions of the form. Under that, there's a page list box allowing you to select the page of the current form you wish to view. You can also cycle through pages using the left and right arrow keys on the top left of the form. You can zoom in or out to get a better view of the form using buttons in the upper right corner of the form. If you prefer, you can also view the form in full screen mode and even print the form for examination as well. Also, you can zoom in and out by right-clicking anywhere on the form itself. You can access helpful articles in regards to the currently viewed form by clicking on the Form Help button. Clicking on the Government Instructions button will automatically pull up a PDF copy of the official government instructions for the form you're currently viewing. From anywhere within the program, you can always search our vast knowledge base for any topic by typing a search string in the Ask Lacerte field and clicking the yellow Ask Lacerte button. Throughout the program, you'll notice green hyperlinks on certain lines. These correspond with various worksheets and statements. In this case, we see a worksheet on line 52 supporting the calculation of the child tax credit. Click on the hyperlink to view the worksheet. One of the most popular features when working with your forms in Lacerte is the Jump to Input feature. On any field on any form, you can right-click with your mouse and then select Jump to Input. If there's a field that flows directly to that line of the form, you'll be taken to that field in the input screens on the Detail tab. Note that Jump to Input doesn't work on all lines, particularly on those that are calculated based upon other lines and don't have an override field. Another one of the most popular features when reviewing your return is the use of audit checks. Audit checks allow you to quickly see which lines on a form are affected by changes that you've made to the Detail tab. On any line of any form, a left click of the mouse places a green audit check next to the current number displayed. You can place as many audit checks within the return as you'd like. Back on the Detail tab, you can add, delete, or modify various input fields, and when you return to your Forms tab, numbers that have changed as a result of the modifications you've just made will have its audit check turned red. Left-clicking on one of the numbers with a red audit check will turn the audit check green again. Left-clicking on any green audit check will remove it entirely. From the View menu, you can clear all audit checks on the current form or all of them from all forms at once. The Diagnostics tab is a really great tool for checking the accuracy of your return, especially for e-filing. There are 3 different types of diagnostics: fatal, critical, and informational. Fatal diagnostics are the rarest diagnostics because they pertain to things that are typically entered into a return very early on or are pro-forma'd from year to year, such as this one that says the taxpayer's Social Security number is missing. If there are any fatal diagnostics on a return, the return won't be able to be e-filed and even won't be able to be printed. Critical diagnostics come in 2 flavors, regular and e-file. E-file diagnostics are the most common critical diagnostics. They begin with the word e-file. They're designed to prevent e-file rejections, and thus, a return cannot be e-filed while critical e-file diagnostics are still present. They aren't necessarily designed to tell you that the return is wrong, only that because of the way that the various agencies' e-file systems look at the e-file version of a return, it would be rejected. Unlike fatal diagnostics, returns with critical e-file diagnostics can still be printed and paper filed. Informational diagnostics are just that, informational. They're often telling you about decisions the program is making or suggestions that are not as strong or important as regular critical diagnostics. Any return can be e-filed with any informational diagnostic still generating on the return. Even the ones that begin with e-file will not prevent e-filing. To the left of certain diagnostics, there are icons that say More Info. Clicking on More Info will bring up a small window with a link to an article from our knowledge base that gives more information about the diagnostic, as well as instructions for clearing it. In addition to this, nearly every diagnostic is also a hyperlink that will take you to where you can clear the diagnostic. For instance, if we click on this Schedule C diagnostic asking for a principal business code, we're taken to screen 16, which controls Schedule Cs, and the cursor is placed in the principal business code field. Be careful with this, though. Some diagnostics aren't simple enough to take you to an exact field to take care of it. Sometimes you're only taken to the appropriate input screen. On the left-hand side of the Diagnostics tab, there is a list box labeled View, which by default will display all of the diagnostics generating on a return. But clicking on the Overrides button will display a list of all overrides currently being used in the return. Below that, there's a Diagnostics filter. By clicking on a particular agency or form, you can view only the diagnostics associated with that agency or form, helping you to focus on certain bits of your return without distraction. Printing returns in Lacerte is easy. Click on the Print menu in the upper left-hand part of the screen, and then click on Tax Return. Alternatively, you can hit Ctrl-P on your keyboard. There are various types of returns that can be printed. Some are meant to be reviewed, others are meant for the client, and still others are meant for filing with the government. Exactly what prints with each type of return and the order in which things print can be customized in the options. Returns can be printed to your printer, to PDF, or to our document management system. You can even automatically email password-protected PDF copies of returns to your clients. In addition, you can print customized copies of returns, as well as partial returns with only the forms and documents you want printed. Thank you for watching our overview of reviewing returns in Lacerte. Covered in this module was the Forms tab, Worksheet links, Jump to Input, Audit checks, Diagnostics, and Printing returns.